These are the leftovers from a built-in bench I made. There's about £16 worth of timber here. And rather than leaving it lying in the shed, I want to turn it into a small garden side table that looks considerably more expensive than it is. The easy option would be a basic square top with 4 straight legs. Instead, I've designed a slatted top with a 3-piece interlocking base underneath it. When I did my garden bench video last year, a few people in the comments said that you needed a workshop full of expensive tools to be able to do it. I'm still going to use the tools that I've got because it would be crazy not to, but if there's a simpler or cheaper option, I'm going to leave those on screen as an alternative. The base is made from 3 identical sections of the fence post. I'm cutting it down first, so the pieces are much easier to handle. The first step in making this look more like furniture is cleaning up the rough sawn surfaces. I just need to clean all 4 faces up and keep the post square. I actually ended up taking a little bit more material off than I originally expected because I wanted to remove all of the little pressure treatment marks from the fence post. That's worth mentioning because a belt sander will still do the job if you don't have a planer thicknesser. But if you're using a fence post with the incisions in, you might struggle to remove them with just a sander. I cut the 3 pieces to the same final length once they were cleaned up. I'm not actually sure what this joint I'm using is called, but I'm going to call it a 3-way crosslap. All 3 pieces intersect at the same point. I'm clamping the 3 pieces together so I can cut the joint in exactly the same place on each one. The exact joint size is controlled by the finished timber size. The centre of the joint sits slightly offset from halfway along each piece. The trench is the full width of one post and half its finished depth. I cut the whole trench with repeated passes on the miter saw, then I just use the chisel to flatten the bottom and clean it up a little. The fit came out really well first time, so there was no need to open the joints up any further. The first piece slots into the second, then the third slots into both, tying them all together. That gives me the full structure of the base from the 3 identical pieces. The joint fits, so next I need to cut the opposing compound angles on each end so it can actually stand flat as a table base. I'm cutting these on the table saw with the blade tilted to 35.3 degrees and the miter gauge set to 45 degrees. The cuts are then reversed at the opposite end of each piece. The slightly longer end forms the feet, whilst the shorter ends create the 3 supports for the top. Before gluing everything together, I'm sanding all 3 pieces whilst they're still separate because it's going to be much easier to get into the centre of the joint now than it would be when the base is assembled. Because this is a 3-legged base, it should always sit without rocking, even if the surface underneath it isn't perfectly flat. Once everything's sanded, I can glue the 3 pieces together permanently. And whilst that sets, I can start making the tabletop. For the top, I use 5 redwood boards cut to the exact same length. The stop blocks on my miter station make cutting these quick and easy. I'm arranging the best faces in grain before fixing them together. I use small spaces to leave enough room for drainage without creating large gaps through the top. Two galvanised straps are used on the back of the boards to hold them together from underneath. These shouldn't be too visible on the completed table because the gaps are kept narrow. I'm not gluing the boards together to allow for more seasonal wood movement, which is especially prevalent in outdoor furniture. Because the base fixes directly to the underside of the top, I'm recessing the strap so that they will sit flush with the timber. I'm doing that with this new Lumberjack cordless router and plunge base. It's ideal for this because I can set the depth and then plunge into the timber without needing to use my full-size router. If you want to save on any of the Lumberjack tools, my code RENODAN will save you 5% off at checkout. Once the straps are recessed, the underside is completely flat and ready to sit onto the base. For the shape, I'm going to use a corner radius jig and a flush trim bit to round all four corners. That keeps the top fairly simple but softens the shape and works nicely with the crossed base underneath. Then I'm adding a full round over to the outside edge before sanding everything smooth and getting ready for finish. Both parts are now ready for stain and final assembly. I'm using Ruston's dark oak exterior stain for the finish, and I went for a dark finish to hide the colour differences and give the table a more premium look. The base and top are being finished separately. Then I can bring everything together once everything's dry. The final job is attaching the top without leaving any visible brackets. Figure of 8 fasteners are what I decided to use. They stay hidden underneath and fix the top directly to the 3 supports on the base. So that's the table all finished, and to be honest, I am a little bit disappointed in it. The legs made me a little nervous at the start, but I'm actually really pleased with how the base ended up looking. The top though isn't quite how I hoped it was going to be. I do like the shape with these rounded corners, but the steel straps underneath haven't quite pulled it as flat as I originally hoped they would. The stain is also a lot glossier than I'd hoped for, even though I used a satin stain. To be honest, I just wanted to darken the wood rather than make it look fully coated and painted. And with this one, you can still see a few of the brush marks, and the more coats I added, the glossier it got. So that just isn't quite how I pictured it in my head. So there's definitely a few things I would change if I was going to build this again. But to be honest, taking it from £16 worth of this timber to something that's perfectly usable like this isn't really too bad of a result. If you want to check out that bench build that I mentioned at the start, go and watch that video next. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.